98.1 in collaboration with QuickTeller. QuickTeller, everyday payments made easy. On the 12th of September, that's today, Lagos. Join us for Business Express with Rotus. Good morning, Rotus.
Good morning, Valentine. Good morning, Lagos.
Wednesday. How's it going, man?
Oh, it's going fine. It's going fine.
All right. Welcome to your guests.
Yes, Mr. Eromosele of Afri Invest. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I like your other name better.
Oh, yes, sir.
Surname?
Aziba, yeah.
Aziba.
That's his Twitter handle. Yeah, you should check him out on Twitter. Sir Aziba. Is it underscore? Sir underscore.
Underscore Aziba.
Yes,
nice.
yes.
Lagos, join the conversation. Send us a message through WhatsApp. Our WhatsApp number is 0800981. We're on Twitter at Smooth981FM. Use that hashtag to send a tweet with hashtag BusinessExpress981. Also on YouTube, where we're live, you can see and leave a comment there for us as well. Just type in the search box Smooth981FM Lagos and watch.
All right, thank you, Valentine. Okay, the market activity is still bearish, down 0.48% yesterday. 33,449 is where we closed. That's 33,449 points. So far this month, the market is down by 4%. For the year, we're at 12.5% in the red. I think all the sectors were negative. Banking, GTV, gosh, year high January was what, 53 naira. I think dropped to 35 or so, 34 yesterday. So you guys, still opportunities for blue chip stocks. The 29 losers. Only they should was the top loser. We'll be talking about sugar in a second. Law Union and Rock Insurance was the top gainer. We're still at 316 odd naira to the dollar. Speaking of sugar, who's had breakfast already this morning? The reason why I'm mentioning that, Eromosele, we're talking downstairs. Bread looks like the cost of bread is set to go up. Some premium bread makers have been complaining about a few things.
Essentially this should be breakfast.
I know. I know,
and,
right?
There are already talks of bread prices going up. Production costs, higher costs of flour, higher energy costs. I mean, considering the fact that most of these premium bread makers probably have their own power plants that they're using to run their factories, which means they also have diesel costs as well that come into that. And as a result of this, it seems like that higher pressure is going to be passed down to the consumers now, and that's quite a sad one, because considering the fact that bread is a staple food
for the everyday man on the street. Right.
Rice.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's something as well. Also, I think they also mentioned the high cost of sugar as well. They also mentioned that, I think. Number of things, but anyway, we'll see how that pans out. Also see how that feeds into inflation figures for the prior month, which I think we're expecting to kind of tick upwards. I
mean, we've already seen the high base impact thin out significantly, and we're already expectations of an uptick.
All right, so we'll see what those figures are when the month of August. All right, exports for the second quarter of the year. I mentioned actually in my tweet yesterday, we were supposed to get to this, but we ran out of time. But I mean, generally decent figures. I think exports for the second quarter of this year grew by 43%.
Thereabout. I mean, we've seen oil improve. I think looking at the export numbers, the key thing that comes to mind is the fact that about 96% of our export activities goes through the Lagos Apapa ports, despite the fact that we have other ports in the country. So this raises the question: why isn't the government making moves towards making sure that all those other ones are in operation to reduce some of the cost pressures that come up from the fact that we're just using one major port? I mean, you see the tons of trucks that packed on the roads trying to make it into the port, and issues like that.
And the second place was so about let's see, there was 4.3 trillion of the 4.4 went through Apapa. That's the value of the goods. Only about 73 billion went through Tin Can, which was the second place. But if anyone is curious, I think the agricultural exports in agricultural goods jumped. So let's see now, was cashew nuts, sesame seeds, cocoa beans, I think, and shrimp and prawns, those also as well. Okay, and also India, Netherlands, Spain, South Africa, and the United States were our top export destinations. We still, the African Continental Free Trade Agreement was still not seen, because we still want to try to boost trade within Africa. Still foreign guys are the destinations for our exports. What else? There is so much to discuss. Shall we get to this reports from the EIU? You know, it's funny, Lagos, we mentioned this on Monday when we're talking about reform slowing down. I know there wasn't a second report that came out, so this is on the same report. I think they just leaked out this particular part. But okay, so they are not to get into the politics of this, but they've predicted that PDP is going to win the election. However, that aside, they did list, I mean, there was a litany of items that they went through saying that even though PDP wins, according to their calculations, they're still going to face the same fiscal economic headaches that this particular administration is facing as well. And they went through like a number of them. Yeah.
I mean, if you go through this report, you would almost think
Nigeria is coming to an end. It's a bleak report, very bleak.
And we have offended them in some way or the other. But they've cited quite a number of issues, talking about the independence of the CBN and their ability to put in place policies that aren't politically motivated, interference in the FX market, even though this has kind of reduced since we've seen FX illiquidity issues curtailed. One of the key things mentioned, which is tied to this again, is politicization of economic policy, which we have seen a lot. Talked about the fact that inflation levels are expected to remain high. Recurrent expenditure is expected to dominate, despite the fact that we are seeing larger budgets on a year-on-year basis. We can see the increased allocation to capital expenditure. They're mentioning the fact that recurrent expenditure is still going to make up the bulk of this. We're still going to see a lot of funds go into recurrent expenditure, paying salaries, and essentially remain quite high. And these are pointing out. They also mentioned the fact that we've seen moves from the fiscal authorities to try to shore up non-oil revenues, but especially through taxes. But some of the weak, in their words, where was it? The weak activities. So essentially, what they've said is there's a wide that Nigeria as a country is facing,
right? And
now we have elections coming up, which further even stalls any economic activity, because at this point, the major focus is on trying to win second term, right? From the opposition to come in. So in terms of any movement in the economy, any moves that could potentially set Nigeria on path of growth, all this most likely be on hold. And we're the ones who are going to suffer it, because this tends to have a more longer term impact on the economy. This neglect that we're expected to suffer.
It's
anyway. All right. So here on WhatsApp is saying, but Rotus. I was expecting you're going to talk about the Nigerian version of Trump, like rumor making round with respect to Lagos into the night. I assume it's true. Was up for another Donald Trump in Lagos. Inka, this is not
exactly. Inka, ask about stocks. What is that question about stocks? Inka, answer your question.
Right, so, please put your message so we can take them. We have this other one from Paul. So, why is it possible for banks to sue the CBN?
Impossible.
Yep. Why is it impossible for banks? Thank you very much. For banks to sue the CBN, because sometimes I see that they are just using political powers to incriminate banks. So, why isn't it possible for commercial banks to file a legal suit against them?
Paul,
well, even if you could, the CBN is your regulator.
Right.
You want to pick a fight there with your boss.
you know. In fact, speaking of which, the latest, was this in the Punch? I think it was in the Punch. Presidential panel to recover $7 billion of bailout funds from commercial banks. What's his name now? The panel chairman, Mr. Okoye Obona Obia, I think he said it's in Abuja, that they're looking to get back the bailout money that they gave to the banks, Eromosele, back when the crown. They want to get the bailout money back from the banks.
In his words, it wasn't dash.
It wasn't free.
I mean, it seems like the government is exploring all opportunities to just raise funds
left and right
at the moment. I mean, I'm not saying the money isn't meant to be collected back from the bank. I mean, we need to go back to whatever for the bailout back when they were provided. But currently, it seems like that's the current situation. You can see the things going on with MTN as well, and all these things. Just considering this, it raises questions as regards what exactly is going on. Is there a situation where the government is trying to raise funds to be able to contest
elections,
for the elections? I mean, yeah, the panel was set up to recover some things. It's possible they're actually just doing their job, but it still seems like there are some deliberate attempts to try to get funds from all sources.
To speak on their behalf. Companies of Nigeria came out saying that's $8 billion back because the money belongs to MTN.
But it's not from the company.
Dividends. So he does have a point. He says dividends that the company is shareholder. So still, MTN has finally jumped up to go to court. We'll see how things.
So on YouTube, thank you very much for watching on YouTube. Citizens revised the effective date of recapitalization of insurance companies backwards from January 1st, 2019, using figures in the audited accounts for 2017. Is this a wise move given the company's short time? Have the short time to respect bullish on investors?
Has gone out to raise funds is ICO before they gave out a message.
ICO had already to the market that they were going to raise. But I mean, looking at the insurance sector as a whole, need for some sort of consolidation in that space.
So this has to happen.
Too many fringe players playing in that market.
All right. Aruoture, thank you so much for joining us from Afri Invest on a Wednesday. Lagos, thank you so much for your message. Really appreciate it. Appreciate it so much.
Is that Rotan quote on
Yes.
Twitter? BOT stars at Sarah Aziba.
Sir_Aziba. Yeah.
Thank you very much for coming through. Lagos coming up next. We have special guest stepping into the studio for a wonderful chat. You need to join us for that. And then right after at 7:30, we bring you detailed analysis of newspaper stories inside of Freshly Pressed. Good morning.
Business Express.